Okay guys, let's bring in a background into our timeline. Okay, so our background, you don't have this open, just go to your effect library. Under generator, you could get solid color right here, just drag it over here. Okay, extend it however long you wanted it. Let's say, I think this should be okay. Okay, just right click, create it into a compound clip, name it whatever you want. Okay, now we have this blank, well, you convert it into a video pretty much, and then now you can enable to go to Fusion. Now you have this two part here, just delete this. Okay, don't worry about this, just go to, let's put this right here, go ahead, let's bring down a text. So I'm gonna hold Control Spacebar. I prefer text plus. Okay, text plus, it have more function, so I'm gonna bring down my text plus, bring down the view here. Let's type in our text, random topics. Okay, let's make the size bigger. Right here, and let's just bring it down a little bit. Just bring in another text for this one. Together. Okay, now you're happy with the text you created and you're happy with the placement and everything, so let's move on to creating a mask to basically cover everything. So I'm gonna start with a polygon. Okay, let's bring this overview here. So with this polygon, I'm gonna decide how to scroll through. So I'm gonna, let's just say, start from the top. So I'm gonna create something like this. Okay, and then I wanted to slow down to here, so I'm gonna go about right here, and then I'm gonna click down here, and then I drag it down so I have some space. So we're just gonna scroll down to here, and then just bring it up like that. Okay, so straightforward, it's gonna be like that. Now I'm gonna have to animate this. So what I do now, I go over here, starting from frame 1. Okay, I'll show you in frame 1. And then on frame 1, just add a keyframe here and here. And you don't need no rotation or anything. So from here, you wanna maybe go to frame 1600, about that, and then just drag this whole point about here. Okay, and move it across to probably right here. Try to cover everything. So it should have something like this. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I leave some space here, that way I can then have here start early, and then from here I have here start later, you know. Okay, now you have that done. Okay, let's save this. You always should save your project whenever you do some changes. So right here, let's bring it to view. Okay, alright, now from here I want to create a I don't want to mask the whole thing, I just want to mask like a little border here, right? So it could show partial of it. So I want to create like a little border inside. So what I do, I hold Control C. Let's copy this. Okay. Control Shift V. Okay. So first you click on this. You hold Control C. You copy this. So instead of Control V, which you duplicate, you just hold Control Shift V. Okay, so that way it will create a link. Do this. So what it does is that whatever changes you made here will affect the changes here. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to create a little border here. So if I don't want any changes to make, all I have to do, click on D instant. Okay, that will whatever you may change here won't affect this one. So what I mean is that, for example, if I do, let's say, a size to this, it changed everything together. Okay, okay, so if I de-instant it, which I already did on this one, so now I can just change this smaller, about right here. You see how I changed this? It did not affect this part here. Okay, now once you're happy with the size of the width, now let's merge them together. Let's bring in a merge. Okay, so this will go to the background. Okay, and this will go to the foreground. Okay, now in order to see, you're gonna have to go over to an operator and then go down to this one. Okay, and you right there, now you get something like this. Before normal it looked like this. Now you're just gonna operate to create something like this. Now you have a inner box here. Let's combine this text with our mask together. So what you want to do now, let's put this right here. Let's bring in, let's convert it to a bitmap. So okay, type in bitmap. Okay, let's bring this in. Let's connect this to bitmap. Okay, and then from here let's add a map control. Okay, here you go, map control. Let's bring this out here. So from your text, you bring this in to this part here. Right here, garbage map. Okay, bring this to garbage map. Okay, now let's bring this up to screen, and then from here you wanna, let's see, you notice, as you can see, you scroll through, let's make this, let's go over to garbage map. Right, on our garbage map, select invert. Now you have something like this. So let's go through. Okay, now let's bring in our particles. So let's start with particle emitter. Now let's bring this out. Okay, and let's move this in here. And let's bring in the particle render. Okay, you need this too, otherwise you won't be able to see it. So let's bring this render over here to this view, connect over here. Okay, now we have nothing really but just particle here. Okay, so don't worry about this part for now. Let's just start with this part here. So on your particle, you have this random particle here. Let's go down our particle. On our particle, let's go down to our tab region. Okay, so you notice if you want to go in and out, just hold on to control, and then you go in and out. And if you want to move around, just hold on to Alt, and then press the middle mouse button, and then you just drag it around. Otherwise, it's just gonna be back and forth. But if you hold Alt and the middle mouse, you're able to move around like that. But anyway, for now, what we have is spear. Okay, if you notice, it's just a bunch of spear. Right, so let's just change the spear. You could change to either one of this, but I want to change to bitmap. Okay, so from here, you want to like connect your text into the particle system. Okay, so let's just bring it in. So after you already select your particle to bitmap, just bring this in, connect it to here, and you notice it start rendering. Okay, so that's the scary part. When you start rendering, I'm gonna start losing out memory. So on your particle, okay, I want you to go down to region or control. Okay, and you'll have this lifespan right here. Okay, so as I mess around with the lifespan for a couple of times, I realized I need about 1400 to at least cover my text from here to here. Okay, yours might be shorter, so you don't really need as much as I do. But yeah, so mine will be 1400. Okay, so once I'm done with that, still on your P emitter, go down to your velocity. Okay, from here you want to pretty much shatter your particle. So I'm gonna shatter it. Alright, now you'll get something like this, shattering. So what I did earlier was go velocity, and then you change this part to 0.25, this part to 0.003, and then on the angle put 360, and the angle Z put 360, and you get something like this. And now let's change this particle to text. So let's bring in text. Click here, press Control Spacebar, type in text, which I have there. I prefer text plus. So bring in text. Okay. So let's just bring this over to this screen here. Now on your text, go down to image, and let's just bring this down to 200. But you notice this is not gonna go down unless you click this off. Okay, so then you can able to change this 200. Okay, now you have something like this. Let's go to our text. The first one, type in R. Well, for me, I prefer R. Let's bring up the size. Okay, that looks good. Now, in order to put this onto your particle, you're going to have to convert this to, go to your emitter. You got to convert this to, let's just say, go to the style tab here. Alright, this part here. Click on this. So instead of point, go down to bitmap, and then you have this one part here where you can connect this to this. Okay, now it's done rendering, so you should have something like this. So as you go in, you hold control and then you scroll your mouse through, you see something like this. Okay, once you connect this to, and you know this is all facing forward, so you don't want that. I kind of want it to like spin around. So what I do now, on your P emitter, okay, you go down to control. Okay, so you go to your rotation and then click this part off. Always face camera, make sure you have that off so that way you can rotate. Okay, so now go to your spin. Okay, and you want to see X, Y, and Z. So let's just put a 10 and 10. Okay, I'm gonna let it render out. Okay, now you have something like this. So you notice how it rotates around instead of all facing forward. So yeah, look good so far. Okay, so it's all randomized spinning around. Okay, now what you want to do, instead of just R, I'm gonna make it random with different letters and stuff. So what I need to do here, go to my text. Okay, here, right click and then go down to text scramble. Okay, that will change into a modifier. Okay, so this tab modifier will pop out, so you click on the modifier. So from here you want it to be random by 1, so I'm gonna create 1. It changed every 1. Okay, and then down here you want to select what kind of random to show up. So I'm gonna delete all these and delete all these, and I'm gonna type in what I want. Random. Okay, these are the letters that I want to be in there, and I'm gonna put maybe like take today. Put some number 1, 2, 3. Let's go back. Okay, so let's just keep it like that. Okay, so now you have that done. You happy with your text? Let's control the size animation of this. So let's go to our P emitter. Okay, let's go down to our style. Okay, from here we're gonna animate the size. So instead of over time, which just like straight line, I'm gonna go particle birth time. Okay, alright, And from the particle birth time, I'm gonna go to size control. Alright, I'm gonna change this to a small size, so let's just say 0.03. Okay, that will shrink the size. It's gonna render. You're not gonna be able to see it now because it's still rendering. So from here it'll be 0.03, and right here and 0.03. So I'm gonna put a point here and then bring this down to say right here. Okay, and then from here put a point here and then bring this to full size. Okay, so what this is constant, and then full size, so it's kind of gradually increase the size. Okay, you could do whatever you want. So for mine gonna be from like, you know, small, and then increase the size. Okay, now let's go over to our color control. Alright, on our color control, let's go to color override, and let's just bring this to the point here, and then put a point here, and then let's just bring everything down because I want the black. So now we have a black here, and let's bring the alpha down so we have something like this. Okay, good. Now you have like some kind of it's gonna render. Okay, now let's add some turbulence. So let's bring in turbulence. Let's add it onto hold shift. You can snap this together. Okay. On our turbulence menu, let's say 2, and then for the Y will be, I don't really want much, so 0, 6, and then for string, we just put 20. Okay, so it's gonna render it. Right, you should have something like this. Okay, now let's add like a little friction. So gonna control spacebar, type in friction. Okay, it's kind of like a bump. So let's bring this in here. Alright, so here, so instead of 5, let's make it to 1. It's just a little bump, a slightly tap. Let's do that. Okay, let it render. Okay, now you're happy with everything, so let's just connect everything together. So let's put in the text onto our shattering. So here's our text. Okay, so what you want to add in Mac control, let's add Mac control. Okay, so you want your text to go into here. Okay, alright, and then you want your inner part, because this is the outer part. The top one is the outer part where it go first, but this is the inner part where it go last. So select your the outer part to garbage map. Okay, garbage mat. Okay, now you have this. Let's create an out point. Hold out, and then you could create an anchor. That way, you can keep this little neat. So yeah, just go to your garbage mat. Okay, from here, you don't really see anything yet, but all it does is just it just cut your mask where you left off. So what you want to do now is create a 3D image plane. So Control spacebar and then type in image plane 3D. Okay, let's bring that out. Connect this here. Okay, and then you'll have something like this. So if you scroll through, a render. Okay. Okay, now you want to merge your particle with your texture. So let me bring this in a little bit. Okay, now you want to merge your particle onto your text. So what you do now, you get a 3D merge. So space, type in merge, and then look for the 3D one. So here it is. Let's add this over here. Okay, so let's connect this to the background. Okay, and then let's connect this to the foreground. And you bring this up here. I'm gonna let it render out. Okay, now you'll come up with something like this. So you have your text and you have your scramble particle. So from here, let's make it more dramatic or realistic. So let's just move this aside for here. Okay. Alright, from here, let's bring in a camera. So let's type in camera and make sure the 3D one. So here's the 3D camera. Let's add this here. Let's bring our camera to here. Okay, let's bring this out. Alright, to see what we're looking at, let's just bring in a 3D render. Render 3D. Okay. We're gonna connect this to this, and then bring this over to here. Now this is what we're looking at. Alright, so let's bring this out a little bit. Hold Alt. Okay, you could let's move our camera out a little bit. So adjust this to gotta let it render a bit. Okay, so we have something like this. Let's check our size. Okay, so the position of my camera look okay. Okay, now let's add some light to it. Okay, so it's make it more like, you know, realistic and stuff. So from here, go to your render. Okay, make sure you highlight lighting and then shadow, so that way it enable lighting and shadow to it. Okay, now let's bring in a light. You can always right click and add to and go 3D and then add a light, or you can just search it up. But so you just right click, add to 3D light, and then go spotlight. Okay, have a spotlight here. Let's connect it to here. Okay, now here's our spotlight, and let's just bring this back a little bit. Okay, now let's bring in another light. So let me go in really quick. Okay, let's make this a little clearer. So let's bring in 2 3D. Let's go light. Let's bring in a ambient light. 3D light. Okay, and let's connect this light here, and we have, see, it's start brightening up a little bit more, and then let's go put our to, that looks pretty good. Alright, now let's add some motion blur to it. So let's go over here. Okay, make sure it's on software rendering, and then you go down to motion blur. Okay, so it's gonna render the motion blur in, and then let's make the quality to 10, the best. Okay, now done rendering, so let's check out our motion blur. Just go up, make sure you have this on view. Okay, and then just go up here, and you're able to check it out. It looked kinda too crazy for me. So what I could do another type of motion blur that make it more even. So I'm just gonna click this out. Okay, and then I go to my render. I go to my output channel on the first control. Go my output channel, and you can select vector. Okay, so what that does, you can see you could control the density of the motion blur a certain part. Okay, so let's just bring and then so from here, in order to use it, you're going to have to bring in a vector blur. So you go right click, add to, go down to your blur, and then go down to vector motion blur. Okay, and then connect this to it. And from here you can like see a little blur right now. You can increase the density of it. So let's just say 2. 3. Alright, to render it out, you're gonna need to connect everything here to your media out. So find your media out, just drag the endpoint and just bring it over here. That way it will show up on your you go to your editing, should have it right here ready for you to render out. Okay, now if you're happy with this, then we could leave it as it is. If not, if you want to create a little bit more in depth, like for example add like a outline instead of just like shatter everything. So let's go back to our Fusion. We can start adding the outline. All you have to do, instead of creating a new text, you want an identical text, that way you don't get out of place. So all you have to do is just go to your text that you created. I create 2 texts with a merge. You probably just have 1, so it depends on your text, because mine have like a bigger R. So for mine, I'm gonna have to copy all my text that's related to the text, including with the merge. Okay, I bring it down here, I paste it. Now in my text tab, okay, I want to create a outline. So let's just bring this to our view here. This is our text originally. Okay, so on our text, go down to I believe the shading part, this tab here with the brush. Go down to outlines. So now you have like an outline here. Go down over here, same thing, do the same. Now we have outline here. So from here you want to blend this text into your animation. So what you need now is add a image plane. So like I said, you need to duplicate exactly what you kind of do here. So you need an image plane. Okay, so let's bring down an image plane. Alright, here's our image plane. Connect this here, and you'll have something like this. Let's make this neat a little bit. Okay, now from image plane, you're gonna want to merge these 2 together. So you just need to bring this and then go here. Now you have the outline right here. So you're just gonna do here. Now you can see it drain. Let's just save this. Go to our editing, let it render.